The Fairy Adventures by Reagan Whitaker. Once upon a time, there was a fairy named Raimi. She was the middle child of her older brother Tristan and her younger sister Eliza. They were triplets that loved going on adventures. One day, Eliza came home from the library, exclaiming that she had an idea for their next adventure. She explained that she had been reading a story on mermaids and how wonderful they were. Then she asked if their next adventure to be to go find some. Raimi and Tristan both agreed that they would love to go on their next adventure to find the mermaids. They didn't live far from the sea to begin with. That night, the three decided to pack their bags with everything they would need and that they would leave at the break of dawn the next morning. They went to bed and woke ready to go the next morning. Raimi grabbed everyone's bags, and the three were fluttering their wings as fast as they could to make their way to the beach. When they finally got to the beach, and their wings were tired from flying as fast as they could, they landed in the sand for the first time ever. Tristan explained that they would walk their way to the edge right before the water hit the sand. But then they would have to put on their bubbles so they could not only keep their wings dry, but also make it possible to breathe underwater. When they got there, Raimi was the first to get her bubble. She was definitely the most excited about this adventure. She had a fascination with water from day one. She had even brought a book on some of the sea creatures that they may see on their journey. As their bubbles floated into the water and then sank down, they started seeing amazing creatures right away. They saw a fever of stingray, a couple of big nurse sharks, a bale of sea turtles, a bloom of jellyfish, and Raimi's favorite, a pod of bottlenose dolphins. Eliza knew how much Raimi loved the dolphins, so she suggested that they should follow the dolphins and hope that the mermaids would be nearby. Eliza made it clear that she wanted to make sure that they stayed away from the creature called a siren. Eliza explained that they could make themselves look like mermaids, but you could tell the difference by the way they would sing. The siren sings higher and will lure you to a dungeon and keep you to become a jester for them. After following the dolphins, the three found themselves at a coral reef that was crazy with life. And at the center of the reef, Tristan spotted something that looked like a castle. He told the girls that they all headed down to the castle, but at a distance to see what was all living within it. That is when they saw the mermaids. They made their way slowly but eagerly, not wanting to scare the mermaids. When the mermaids saw them, they were greeted with joy. They showed them around their little community and were sent on their way. They didn't want to stay too long. They had to make it home for dinner. So, Tristan, Raimi, and Eliza made their way safely home. When they got back to the beach, they popped their bubbles and flew back into the woods. As the day grew into dusk, they arrived back at their front door, ready to tell their parents everything that they had discovered. The end.